Hello, everyone, and welcome to my channel. This is an educational channel, and we check into basically earth-shattering discoveries and grand unified theories and things that have been suppressed, things that you have been pressured not to know about. And um, this is I believe, episode 21 of a new feature that's called The Q-Tip of the Spear. And that is a recap of the clown show, info war, fifth generation war, um, civil war, cold civil war, cold global civil war that's going on, and just my 2 cents about the day's developments, mostly the podcasts that I've had a chance to listen to, and sometimes I'm a day late or so. Um, but I thought an interesting set of ideas was in on Parallel 8 that um, he had was listening to I think some guy named Chase Hughes, who I'm not familiar with, but he was kind of talking about the future. Um, I think he was doing it a few years ago, but I think that's in the direction that we're going. And a couple of the different phases that I thought were um, notable. Just first, that we're going to be getting a lot of isolation, but unlike COVID, it's going to be isolation that we actually want to have. And um, the take on that, uh, I don't know. it it's the take on that was that for the anons, that they're they're gonna be able to take a break because they're not going to need to be explaining the conspiracies and the psyops to their neighbors and family and friends, because now the media, mainstream media, is going to be doing it. And so um, we'll see how that goes. Um, I have had no experience of that. I've never had any of my friends or family like asking my opinion about something when they hadn't before, or apologizing to me for uh, 35 years of you know um, pretending not to listen to me, or getting immediately sleepy as soon as I start getting into something that I'm interested in, or when they start looking at their watch, you can kind of tell that they're about to check out. It's all very unconscious, but when you see it like 100 times, then you can kind of attest to the pattern. And then on the other hand, when when it does turn out that you're right about the conspiracy, then they blame you for not telling them. you know, Why didn't you tell me? Um, well, I did, and you know, you cut me off. You kicked me out of the family. But it's my fault because I didn't use the right language. I didn't teach you right. I didn't put it on a silver platter for you, and so you weren't able to grok it all at the time. But now you got it, so no harm, no foul, I guess. And then another one of the takes was that people are going to be seeking out psychedelics for mental mental healing. I would also recommend the music of Sun Ra. You take some of that with your psychedelics, and be prepared to take a trip that will take you through beautiful vistas and some of the most horrifying spaces as well, all in one trip. And you'll be laughing and crying and overwhelmed and underwhelmed, and it will help you, I think, with your integration of the old and the new, and helping you to move forward. Um, but yeah, I mean, I haven't taken any psychedelics in, I think, over 10 years, but I would highly recommend them at least once. Um, I think when I was in grad school, I was taking psychedelics like pretty much on the clock every 2 weeks for a couple years. And it's definitely, you just have to, you have to put it into your context as a mature plant revering, um, nature revering seeker, as opposed to someone who wants to freak out and trip out and, you know, um, party. It just, you just want to approach it with a healthy mindset, so that you are, paying the proper reverence to the plants, and that you are, y- you know, uh, remembering what you're doing it for. You're doing it to kind of clear out some blockages, to get clear on certain aspects of your life that maybe you're hiding from yourself, and to just basically have it confirmed right in your face that there is a much, much, much higher level of consciousness that's governing this, that you could call God or nature or whatever you want to call it. Although I would highly suggest that you don't call it Jesus, um, because that would be not accurate. But whatever you want to call it, it's a much higher level of intelligence that we have access to at certain times. And um, there's a lot of truthers out there that are real naive about this stuff, though. You hear some of them talking like you're going to get addicted to psychedelics. Nobody's getting it. Nobody's getting addicted to psychedelics. I, like I said, I haven't taken any in 10 years, but I still sing their praises. What kind of drugs are out there when, if you haven't taken it in 10 years, but you're still singing its praises? Usually if you quit something, it's because it's bad. But I'm just not doing it because, you know, maybe I will, maybe I'll feel the need to do some in the future, but right now it's not that phase for me. um um so, but I think a lot of the movement um is pretty naive about that stuff, and they also like to brand it with demonic or satanic. None of these things exist. Okay, the Satan is a figment of your imagination that was written by the Romans right alongside Jesus. They created Jesus and Satan at the same time. right in the New Testament. It was written by the Romans as a psychological operation against the Jews. And so when even just using that, it exposes that you're superstitious and that you are suffering from a slight mental illness because you're believing in things that you don't understand, and you um, just putting labels on things, which is fine, but they're like dogmatic labels. And they're also used to so-called demonize or weaponize against other people that maybe are doing something that you're uncomfortable with. Um, and so, this movement can be really sheltered um, in certain ways. And I think that at least the vanguard of the movement is opening up to things and being more open-minded of these things. And I applaud that wholeheartedly. But I do think that there's still some stragglers who are still thinking that we're going to move into the golden age kind of with all your values intact, that you were right all along, and that what you believed in when you were a little kid is what you're going to go with now. And that's not going to happen. So we've all got to kind of open up to a diversity of ways of doing things. And not everybody has done it the same way. Um, I just think that we need to kind of be focused on the truth. What is the truth about things? And if we can't figure out the truth, then we can go with faith. But if there are facts and evidence one way or the other, then I think that we need to, you know, point in that direction, and then, use our discernment to come up with hypotheses, and then test the hypotheses, and you know make our decisions about what we believe and what we don't believe based on facts, and not based on tradition, emotion, and whether it feels good, whether my friends are doing that or whether my family has done that. What are my friends and family going to think if I change my beliefs? And all of these things, and these are all things that truthers have dealt with in a more minor way uh, already in this movement. But it's just going to have to be repeated, because it's coming around to going on to a deeper level, not just you know surface economics and politics and news media, but to a deeper core, into the spiritual realm, like real spiritual realm, not kindergarten spiritual, Ten Commandments and stuff like that. Um, but a deeper level of, okay, we all are kind of in this same situation, and we need to be able to kind of deconstruct what's going on in our head, in our minds, and how we work, how we operate, and how we operate at peak performance. And you know never ever accepting the status quo as being um, unchallengeable. So I guess that's about it for today. Um, so thanks for tuning in. Like, share, subscribe, contribute, and um, yeah, just continue watching the Wild Tangent Network and this feature, the Q-tip of the spear. Have a great day.